Social media. Everybody's talking about social media, you know what I mean? Social media is poison, everybody is saying. Doctors are talking about it, lawyers are talking about it, psychologists are talking about it, preachers are talking about it, politicians are talking about it. They started to figure out how to get legislation to control the media, make sure the media doesn't poison the population. But let's think about this, let's just stop from it. Let's look at it from another perspective. And I'm not saying I came up with this perspective, but I mean, let's think about it from this perspective. Is social media really the problem? Or is the problem us? Let me run that back again. Is social media the problem or is the problem us? I'm not going to say social media is a scapegoat. Nah, that's not what I'm going to say. But I don't think social media is a problem. People say nobody communicates anymore. It's all social media. It's all social media. We stopped communicating with each other a long time ago. A long time ago. This is a cultural issue, not a social media issue. Social media is just part of the culture. The culture is the whole big thing that we have created around us that's causing all these issues. Social media is just a small part of it. Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you, think about this. Do we really communicate with each other even if we face to face? Excuse me. I was drinking a Coke. And I ain't going to edit that out neither, because you know what? That's the problem with a lot of social media stuff and all of that. We edit out the human side of us. Everything's going to be perfect and perfectly placed and all of that bull crap. And we leave out the human side of us. So everything looks perfect. So is it social media that's causing that? Or is it us that's creating that? But anyway, let's get back to the thing here, okay? The question I was asking, and I asked myself, is this social media or is it us? And I say it's us. I say long before social media came along, we were losing our sense of communication with each other. Big time. Divorces were skyrocketing before social media. Everybody's sleeping around and flaunting their stuff here and there. That was happening way before social media. I think the difference between then and now is people kind of hide it back then. They just don't hide it as much now. And if social media didn't come along, they still wouldn't be hiding it. We'd be a lot more out in the open of doing things that supposedly is not appropriate for society. I just think social media is an excuse that we use to explain away our bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? We use everything else to explain our bad behaviors. Okay, I don't want to call it bad behaviors. Let's just call it inhumane behaviors. So we could say, well, that's the problem. Instead of saying, we are the problem. We are the problem. We brought our problems to social media. Social media didn't bring our problems to us. Before social media, they had Hustle Magazine, they had Playboy and Playgirl and all of that stuff. Mass produced, mass distributed. So, it's easy. It's at the click of a finger. It was easy then. You send out, you get your catalog of the stuff, and you have it in the house. When I was raised in the third world, we found a bloody Playboy to have in the house. My mom took it and burned it, of course, but she found it. But the point is, we still got it. No, it wasn't at our fingertips, but it got there. So, that was the only Playboy I've ever seen in my life, though. I've never seen another one. Let me try the thing. Nope, never seen another one. That was like, what, 17, 18? Maybe I was 16, I don't remember. But But then I was in the third world, so that kind of stuff was hard to come by. There was a strict sort of a conservative society to a certain extent. So a lot of that stuff was shameful and all of that, you know. But anyway, have you ever spoke? Okay. I know you have. You speak to people face to face every day. But have you ever noticed that most people don't listen when you talk to them? And they don't listen because they're thinking about what to say. It is really rare that you would find somebody who would listen to you. Because either they're going to argue with you, they're going to try to prove they know more than you, or whatever situation you're in, they're going to equate it to one of theirs to make theirs look worse than yours. Because, you know, very rare they try to make it look better. And even if they try to, if you try to talk somebody up and you know, tell them, well, you know, this is this way and this is that way, you have the feeling that they're thinking that you're better than them. That's why you're talking that way to them instead of, you know, listening. And I've spoken to people, man, and it's like, I could just tell they're not listening. They're not listening. Nobody's listening to anybody. And this didn't just start because of social media. This stuff started back in the 80s with that whole individualism stuff. And I always go back to that. If you go to see any kind of a video I have, image is everything. You know, self independence and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? We have separated ourselves from each other, and that creates selfishness. So nobody listens. So people go on social media to vent. Nobody's listening there, but they venting anyway. And a lot of people who go to social media is the people that when you talk to them, they don't listen because they want to talk about themselves. When they're on social media, there's no real interruptions. You could ignore the comments and just keep going. Nobody's throwing back advice to you because most people don't want advice. They just want to vent and not fix anything. Just go blah, 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 and not fix anything. That's so frustrating to me, you know, because people come to you to talk, you know, and they say, some people, they just want you to listen. They don't want you to talk. Then why are you talking if you're not trying to look for a solution? I don't know if that makes sense to some people, you know, just to sit there and vent and stuff like that. I wouldn't go vent to somebody who is not going to say, well, Andy, this is this and that is that. I don't want to go talk to somebody and just standing there going, I'm talking to you because it's a solution sort of I'm looking for. I'm looking for direction to go in. Most people aren't equipped to give directions because they're just as broken. Just as broken, man. And they don't listen to anybody else because sometimes when you listen to somebody's situation, that helps you figure out something that's going on with yourself too. At the present, you listen to them, and maybe you could get to learn something, but nobody's listening. They're just waiting to contribute to the conversation. And I was thinking the other night, you know, why is that? Why would people go on social media like, you know, Facebook and your Instagram and bare their business, and everybody say, I wouldn't do that, because they don't have anybody to talk to. And we become a society where we are just allowing ourselves to vent with no solution. Social media gives them that opportunity. They could just go on there and vent. And of course, too, when you're venting on social media, people aren't going to give you advice per se. And if they give you advice, it's not genuine advice because right they oh yeah, girl, you know, oh yeah, dude, blah, blah, blah. Then they go, oh man, what a fool, what an idiot, this is that. So nobody's really listening, and nobody's. There's a lack of problem solving capabilities going on. And usually, if it comes to solve it, it's not to solve it to make it better. It's to solve it to get one over on somebody. Like you have these red pill guys talking, and it's always about getting over on women, and then you have the women talking. It's always getting over on the men. And they're not solving the problem, they're compounding the problem. They're compounding the division. They're compounding the mistrust and all of that. So that's not new. It was like that way before social media. I came from a broken home. My dad came home and acted a fool. Dudes do the same thing now. But nobody's talking to anybody about it like my mom sat me down and talked to me about it. You know what I mean? And we had television and stuff at the time. So it's not like we couldn't go watch a show. No, we go sit out in the veranda and we have a conversation. Andy this, Andy that. Yes, mom. Solve a problem. Understand life. And I guarantee you a lot of kids would rather talk to their parents than to be on a video game and stuff like that. Oh, it's addictive, it's addictive. It's not addictive. It's just running from reality. Everything is surface level. Every advice given is surface level. It's like nobody understands the environment they're surrounded by. And I'm not saying I know and I'm an expert on it or anything like that. But from my observation and things like that, that's what I'm seeing happening. Social media isn't the problem. We're the problem. Social media don't have the capability to take a step back and make a logical decision about what to do or how to solve an issue. We do. You could put laws to restrict social media. You could, you know, and all, you could do all that stuff with social media. It's not gonna fix the problem. Fixing social media is not gonna fix us. That's who we have to fix. It's us. How we treat each other, how we deal with each other. Social media compounds it to a certain degree. Like everybody using memes to express their emotions. And most of the memes are sarcastic memes, you know what I mean? Walk away from this person, you know, you don't have to take this. And it's all this like, you know, just get up and this fighting stuff going on instead of saying, okay, there's an issue. How can we fix this issue? You know what I mean? If we can't fix it, then we deal with it when the time comes, whether you want to walk away or not. But, you know, it's always like, well, you're going to be tough and you're going to walk away. So everybody, before one little thing, boom, and they walk away. Nobody has got the patience for anybody. If you show patience with somebody, then you're a fool. That's an us problem. That's another social media problem. That's us losing our humanity. And it's not because of social media, because we were losing it long before social media. Shoot, before social media come along, we had two world wars, you know, in recent history. And we had a string of wars. Did social media cause those? We still weren't communicating with each other there. Now we're communicating now, but boy, are we communicating with venom. We need to stop blaming everything else but ourselves for where we are with certain things, especially with social media. And I'll be honest, I'm on social media a lot. But my posts, I try to spread the love a lot. And I'll listen, if I talk about love on social media, nothing. You don't get a like. Nobody comment and say, well, you know, that makes sense, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, this doesn't make sense. Well, they do. If they did, okay, I'll give you an example. There's I have this meme type thing that I sometimes repost it, and it's about love, relationships and stuff. And I don't go to the comment section because I know what's in the comment section. They're arguing. So the other night they said, let me go into the comment section, you know what I mean? And instead of saying that's the way it should be and we should work towards it being that way, blah, blah, blah. No. Well, women do it too and men do it too. Girl, you're dreaming. Boy, that's some fantasy fairy tale stuff. So being human is a fantasy fairy tale now? Is that what you're all telling a brethren? How does that make sense? How is being human and wanting love and wanting, people or special someone to be there to treat you with respect and, enjoy your company and stuff like that, and you enjoy theirs? How is that a fantasy when that's a natural? And that's the thing. We are taking natural human wants and making it a problem because we have become so individualistic and everybody wants something without giving something back. This is where we are. And that is not a social media problem. That's a us problem. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over. That's an us problem, man. We don't have too much compassion for each other. Because if you do, then you're weak. And the sad part about stuff like on social media with the memes and stuff like that is the people who write the memes, they get paid for that stuff. And the memes replace your natural emotion. You go on social media and you look for a meme that sort of represents your concocted understanding of your own humanity, and you post it as if that's you. We're losing our humanity, but we're not losing it because of social media. That was happening way before social media. Social media didn't speed it up. It's going to speed up anyway, regardless of social media or not. Because we have shifted to a certain degree to what remnants of understanding each other, to a point where we refuse to, not that we don't, we refuse to understand each other. Because we think we're all adversaries. It's woman against man, this race against that race, and it's amplified. Social media didn't amplify that. Social media is a sort of a mild scapegoat. Let's look around the world and all the leaders that we have. Worldwide. When was the last time you heard a leader genuinely speak about peace or having compassion for each other? Name me one time here in the last 10, 15 years you've heard a world leader get up and talk about something and he just strictly talk about peace and love and compassion and caring for each other, and we all in this world together, we need to get along. Name one, just give me one leader in the comment section. Tell me. You don't hear that anymore. I'm not saying that there isn't leaders that think like that, but they get drummed out by the others that are like, beating the drum, like, man, come on now. I'd rather be a human being before I'm a man. So the whole point of this vibe here and thing is you gotta stop blaming social media for everything. Social media is not a poison. We control social media. Social media don't control us. We're the poison. And I could go into this whole thing that, it's all money and stuff and social media and stuff, but we control that. That's a us thing. But we just ride right along with it and complain as we go. When we have the solution in our hands, we should be using social media to understand each other. We should be using social media to learn about each other. But instead, we use social media to tear each other down. You know what I mean? And listen, I gossip too sometimes. Hey, sometimes some gossip is sweet. I'm not perfect. Sometimes it's funny. If it's funny, I'll listen to it and I'll cackle and I'll say something about it. But if it's malicious, I don't want to hear it. Your profile on social media is full of people that they're pretty much all acquaintances. They're not friends, they're acquaintances. You're friends on Facebook? No, we're acquaintances. I used to work with somebody for like 3 months and they say, oh, there's Andy. Let me get him to be on Facebook with me. And no, people don't get on your Facebook and your Instagram to spy on you to see what you're doing. That's not what everybody is doing. Some of them don't even go on there that much. And most of them don't even see your posts. So no, they're not spying on you, trying to figure out what you're doing and stuff. And all these people, no. Because they're busy trying to live their life and they're busy trying to vent about their own stuff. They're not paying much attention to you, or to me, for that matter, unless they're really close to you, unless you make them feel good. They don't pay attention to you. I always wondered why you go on YouTube and you see people there's just so many videos where people are just sitting there going, what's the point? It's no use, you know what I mean? And people are just like really in the dumps. And everybody's like, why would they go on social media? Why would they go on YouTube and make posts and things like that? At first I was asking that question too. And then, like I said, I was thinking, and I was like, because nobody's listening to them. At least they get it out. Because face to face, you know nobody's listening to you when you're talking to people face to face. Especially when you're trying to talk about something instead of somebody trying to help you out with a solution. The first thing is you're going in that tough mode, you got to get away, instead of sitting there and listening to what this real situation is. And then we have become in the habit of not wanting a solution. We just want to talk about it, and then the next day we come up, we complain about the same thing, and the next day we come up, we complain. That's why I kind of stop listening to people, you know what I mean? If you're not trying to find a solution, I don't really want to listen to you, because it's just over and over and over, and then everybody's miserable. Find a bloody solution. And if that solution doesn't work, that's life. You keep trying to find a solution. Don't blame everything else, like social media and Facebook, this and that and the other. You don't have to go on there. And there's certain things on there get to you just scroll past it. That's what I do. Oh, yep, they're talking that again. Oh, look, gloom and doom. If I see a post on social media about peace and love and compassion, I stop and I read it. Maybe that's the type of post we should stop and read. And I'm not saying get yourself buried, your head buried in the sand, thinking it's all peaches and cream and all of that. But you bring a lot more of that in your life, then a lot more solutions might come from that. That's all I'm saying. Social media is not a poison. We're the poison. We're the ones poisoning it with our selfishness and a lack of compassion and all of that. It's like all these people are having issues with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is telling people all this stuff. Really? Who do you think programmed ChatGPT to respond to you and know all this stuff? A man did. They didn't just create ChatGPT and they know everything. They had to put the information in there. Another human did that. And they do stuff to boost your ego. Because if they boost your ego, then you're going to be like docile to whatever is going on around you. So I guess the moral of this whole thing is like, fixing that whole situation starts with us. Not passing laws to control social media. You're not controlling social media, you're controlling the people who use social media. So why don't start from the root of the thing instead of putting a band-aid on what the real problems are in society? Boom, there I said it. And I'm going to leave it like that, you know what I mean? I'm going to leave it there, man. Listen, man. This is going to sound naive or redundant, and I don't care. Let's go out there, try to have some compassion, try to love each other, try to, and I'm not going to say do the right thing. I'm going to say do the human thing. Do the human thing. That's what we need to do.